YouTube, what's going on? This is Jones with C.T.S.O. Cut that shit out. Let me turn that down a little bit. Alright, let me make a quick video before I go to bed. Going to bed early these days. Really, I want to make a shout out to Laura K, as I often do. Thank you very much for replying to my videos, as well as Fawn17. Thank you very much for your last replies on my videos. You know, and anyone else replying, I'll give you guys shout outs as well. But they've been showing me some love there. Now, I want to address some things on what both of those have commented on. For example, Fawn17, thank you very much. I appreciate it. When we were talking about, she was talking about, well, I don't know who, but this person was talking about age differences. And I don't know if y'all can hear that. These cats, man. I'm not a really big fan. Anyway, they're always fighting. It's ridiculous. What was I saying? So what I was saying was, and this is what I was saying through my earlier videos, way earlier videos, that in today's the time for younger and older to get together. Your age no longer matters. The younger and older need to get together and straighten this thing out, right? So no matter what your age, we need to get to straighten this thing out, because no matter what our age is right now, all ages are on these cell phones and on the television, you know, and watching the news. And we're getting just false information everywhere. And it's really hard to believe that you're getting false information on the television and on your phone and on the internet and all this, but that's exactly what's happening. And like I said, I was watching a video and people were arguing over whether distilled water was good or not. Oh, it's got no minerals, it's so terrible for you, it's dangerous. It's just false information everywhere. We've got these trolls and negativity. If you've ever watched an Alex Jones, you know, InfoWars, if you've ever watched a live chat between people like that, or someone who has a very large audience, who's giving real information, look at what people are texting in the live feed, right? You know that, what do you call it? The column where there's live text going. And so these things that people are texting, smiley faces, blah, 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 all sorts of things. And when I say all sorts of things, I mean some gruesome, gross, disgusting things, like demented. And you wonder, like, really? You want everybody to see what you're doing and you think this is cool? The things that, I want to say come out of their mouth, but it's not. The things that these people type is just terrible. You know, racist things, gross things, sexual things, all sorts of things to put down whomever the live stream is. There's always these trolls, and it's so weird in today's time. And it's weird. It's I guess people behind a keyboard feel like they can do whatever they want because they're behind a keyboard, right? It's bulletproof glass. It's so weird to me, and I'm so tired of seeing that. You know, people are trying to do good, and then you see things like that, which is one benefit to having a small audience. So there's that. So, you know, shout out to Fawn17 on that. Laura K. So as Laura's mentioned before, this is I think it's best to sum it up as this is spiritual. What's going on right now is biblical. It's in the Bible, all of these things. And this is correct. It's all in the Bible. But now the Bible to me is a book that needs to be interpreted, and it's not to be interpreted by some guy in a church, right? We're not supposed to be, that's not our leader, that's not God, and man's body, not everyone, but you know, the human aspect of man is evil. And I forget what I was reading. I found a passage. One second. Did I just leave it open? Yeah, in Corinthians, listen, and please forgive me, yeah, so in Corinthians, it looks like Corinthians might back me up, but I got to do some more research because maybe I'm interpreting something wrong. But in Corinthians, I think it shows that, you know, I read this one paragraph that says to me that, yeah, man should not be interpreting. You should be reading it for yourself. that backs me up, because I've been listening to other people on YouTube and thinking a lot about the Bible and things like that. Which, look, don't get me wrong, and I'm sorry, but I have not read it or opened it much. I just bought mine recently, like I just said. And there's different versions, King James version, SV, what have yous, and just there's so many different versions. So one thing before I even got my Bible, one thing for many years I've always thought was, if this Bible's been printed so many times, then how does it stay? How can it possibly stay consistent if it's being interpreted all the time? And apparently, when there's a patent on something, like there's patents on Bibles for different companies to print these, there's got to be a 10% difference. So what's that 10% difference? I was never thinking of the 10% difference, but I always knew that there was this game called the telephone game. As kids, you'd sit around in a circle and you'd whisper a story to your buddy next to you. It goes around in a circle, and by the time that story gets to you, it's not the same story. It was a simple story. Now everybody's in a car accident, there's blood everywhere, and there's fugitives, and it's just, if you understand what I'm saying, the telephone game. And I've always been weary of that kind of all my life. Like, what makes this thing consistent? And what I'm learning is, it's stories, and you are to decipher these stories. Now, I could be wrong on some of these things. Please don't quote me on these things. Quote me. I'll just be quoted as being wrong. But I've seen some stuff. I've gone to a church in Miami, and I've seen the pastor wearing 2 watches, bling bling watches. They're watches, not one watch and a bracelet. All right, 2 bling bling watches, and his face was on all of the equipment. They used a movie theater, so when they went to go move things, his face was on all the vehicles and whatnot, or the big trailers, not on every vehicle, but the big trailers. And he drove a Cadillac Escalade. Now, yeah, I'm judging him, and I'm fine with that. So, I don't know, I would help this church out. I'd help them set up and whatnot. My buddy went, but on Sundays, I'd be one of the people helping set up and whatnot. What else am I doing? Actually, I'm doing a lot of things, but I did that for that church. I at least did that. Met some great people and all. But, you know what is going on with the churches today, it worries me, because I see a church on every corner, and I'm nothing against the church. If you go to church and all, listen, I ain't writing you off. Don't write me off. All right. I'm just speaking my mind on this. But I see we have some massive churches around here taking up this parking lot, huge parking lots taken up, animals used to live there, and just cutting these down, and they're massive, and seem to have all these bells and whistles that aren't, that shouldn't be there. And then I often wonder why the church isn't speaking about our health, why they're not doing more to assist us in living longer. And it's just, I can go into it for a while, so I'm not going to do that. But I just have a lot of things I'm wondering. So, like I said, I'm just got my own Bible that I paid for. Yeah, I've had others, but I got some pride in this one with the leather back and all that good stuff. So, I'm reading it like a book to see what I can see. I don't need nobody else. I need guidance from the right people, but I don't need another man, because man is corrupt. Apparently our body is evil and blah blah blah. We got spirit, body. I don't even know how to explain it, but listen, man is corrupt, and you need to decipher for yourself. Period. So with that being said, sorry for going on a long rant on basically Christianity, but just speaking my mind here. That's what I'm doing before I go to bed. I would like to remind everybody, in case you didn't know, most of you do know, the difference between a republic and a democracy. A democracy is mob rule. You get everybody thinking your way. You put up some bullet points and you get everybody swayed to think that way, and now you got power. Whereas a republic, a constitutional republic, how I was speaking about Christianity, the 10 Commandments, right? Well, with the constitutional republic, we go by the Constitution, and those laws are set out, and we follow those. That's our guidelines, and we follow that. That's what we want to do. We don't want mob rule. All right. I should start saying that more often. And as I've said before, and I'm really getting, listen, all the time that I'm watching, one when I'm on watching television, which I don't watch very often, I actually watch YouTube, but I see Tucker Carlson, like I often mention, in other, even on InfoWars, when guests come about, they use the word democracy and we let that slide. We need to say, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not what this is. Whoa, cuz. Whoa, that's not what this is. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's not what this is. Let me learn you something. But this is really important, and I'm tired of seeing this. This is not a democracy, and I wonder if these words are being thrown around to sway people the wrong way, like subliminally. What? Why does this keep happening and no one is correcting it? I see this pretty often. It's nuts. So please have your wits about you and keep that in mind. That's what's going on here. That's a big deal as to what's going on. And in today's time, have you found that the truth is it's uncomfortable to say the truth? Because there's some real things going on, but people don't want to talk about it. They don't, and the problem is if you don't talk about it, if we don't come up with solutions, it's going to keep on happening. So how long has that been going on, right? In Libya, there's straight up sex trafficking in Libya, slaves in Libya, slaves in Libya, and other parts of the country. Right now, things are really, really terrible. So, and the things that are going on in our country, I'm not going to go into it because, yeah, it is terrible, but that's not what this whole YouTube video is about, because we can go into detail, and there's plenty of detail out there, so don't let me mess it up. All right, but man, it's weird how it's hard to put out the truth and how people just want to dismiss you without even looking into it, and that's where we're at. And I've said that in my last videos. I'm sorry, I'm a broken record over here. I'm skipping. One thing to note, and this may or may not be relevant, but Trump's lawyer, was it Michael Cohen? I didn't even think to remember his name. That just popped into my head, so I hope that's it. But as you know, Trump's lawyer, whose rights were violated because his hotel and all other things were raided, devices taken from him, which is not supposed to happen. If it can happen to them, it can happen to us. Of course it can happen to us. It's been happening to a lot of people. Our rights just being violated, especially as Trump, when he was just a candidate, right? Just a candidate. That means when we're just a candidate, the same thing would have happened to us, coulda, whatever, if we were big enough fish to fry or not. So you gotta see what's going on with these other people and say, look, that could happen over here. That's probably happening over here without me knowing certain things, a lot of things. So this is just some scary times beyond it. I mean, every day's a movie right now. Every day's a movie. If you think it's crazy, movies are not as crazy as what's happening right now. They're not. So keep in mind, so as I'm mentioning Trump's lawyer and friend, this guy's, it seems like he's had his hands in a lot of different things that Trump's done. They know each other very well. I think Trump trusts this gentleman very much and has known him for a while. So after that happened, was there some information that was gathered on these devices found in the hotel? What's going on? Because as we know, our intelligence communities, they are in war between each other. Some agree with others and some don't agree with others. And they're warring against each other. They've got beef against each other. That's what I'm trying to say. So when they went and violated this man's rights, all of a sudden, Trump is now bombing Syria. Now, Trump ran against doing that, and he was hell-bent against doing that. Did they find something on Trump to where now they're able to basically blackmail him or get him to roll over a little bit or a lot of it? I don't know, but these were things that were brought up. So like I would like to mention, I listen to Roy Potter a lot, and I would like to give him, like that gentleman really knows. That's some serious wisdom right there. He knows a lot about what's going on. He's been on Earth for a while. He's gone through some stuff. He's even lost his military pension because he's trying to tell the truth and make things happen, right? That's a good dude. That's a real good dude. But he brought that up, and I was like, okay, that's the only way I could see Trump getting messed up and doing this type of stuff, because we're not supposed to be fighting these other people's war. I know he's hell bent against it, so they might have something really largely against him, largely against him. But who knows, right? But that would make sense. Other than that, we're not supposed to be over here messing with these people and poking the bear so that Russia can retaliate. Russia's been taking a lot of flack on the chin, all right? They've been nice right now. They really have, all the things that we've been saying. We've got some serious warmongers in the United States. And outside the, we got some serious words are being thrown. Russia's name is in the media all day, every day. They're taking it on the chin, and they can't. I don't know how much more a nation can take. And just keep that in mind. That's just is that what's going on? Because I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. While we're doing this in Syria, as I keep on going towards that. But keep in mind, so you got that what's going on in Syria. Al Sharpton, Louis Farrakhan, those type of people who go out preaching just hatred. More so Louis Farrakhan. Listen, I didn't really know who that was till a few weeks ago or a month ago. I was at work. I was listening to a YouTube thing of that dude, and man, I was stunned, like twisted my face up, like, man, this dude's just preaching hatred, talking about color and whatnot. And Al Sharpton kind of does the same thing, but not on that scale. These people say that they're pro-black and this and that and that and this, but listen, in today's time, that stuff ain't really, that stuff's not a big deal. Nobody's running for their lives. We're all going to the mall, going out to eat with no problem. So listen, I would like for the word racisms and all this stuff to just stop using it. You know what? What if somebody was a racist, okay? But does that mean that when they go out in public, they treat people improperly? Does it mean that? Or maybe they just have a bias or a particular feeling about something, or they want something to be a certain type of way. Maybe you should sit down and talk to that person about it if you got such a big problem. But nowadays, they just point at people and say racist, and then everybody kind of turns the other cheek and walks away from them. It's really weird. So you know what? To be honest, if somebody's racist or both, as long as they keep it to themselves, I don't see what the big deal is. If they're sexist, blah blah blah, keep it to yourself. I don't see what the big deal is. If you're not stomping on other people and spewing hatred and whatnot, trying to get other bad apples, you bad apple, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see too many people saying what I'm saying, and this might be a problem for some. But just because you feel a certain way about some things, that's just that person. But as long as they're not going around pointing at people, making people feel so terrible, as if they can't stand in the same line or use the same bathroom, I don't see what the deal is. Because it's not like people are sitting there speaking their mind to everybody every minute of every day that they're walking. If most people keep however they feel, they keep it to themselves. So you know what? When you're pointing at people, calling them a racist like we see on television and whatnot, you know what? I'm gonna be the first to say, so what? Because I've met some people who felt certain ways about certain things, and some things I agree with, some things I don't. But they're not the type of people to sit there and make you feel terrible just because you're that color. They might feel a certain way, but they're not gonna sit there and call you out some type of way at a Burger King or a McDonald's or something. And I just listen. I'd rather people look into that. Look, it's fine to have your own thoughts, what have you. It's fine, because right now being politically correct and doing all this nice stuff is tearing our nation apart. It's already torn apart. It's got a big rip in the middle. All right, this is getting heavy over here. So those are some things I wanted to get off my chest before going to bed. I see we're almost up on 20 minutes. I've just been talking on here for 20 minutes now. Really, it's been 18 something. So thank you very much, everyone who's been watching. I really appreciate the comments. Those things help me going. It makes me see that somebody's watching. There's one person. There's another person watching. All my stuff's pretty much shut down. None of these numbers are moving. So I appreciate it. Also, I think I might try and do a live chat. If any of you think that's a good idea to do a live chat, and if somebody would actually say, yeah, I'd like to do a live chat, let me know. And then now hit that live button. I guess that's how it works, and we'll do a live chat on like a weekend or something. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Jones with C.T.S.O. Cut that shit out.